goes that stream, people. Let's see what's going on. Oh, this is loud. I'm getting the fix. It's about to go down, people. They ain't just tucking deuces at us. What's going on? I'm hoping to see some Battlefield today. Oh. Pretty far behind. What's going on?
It is daytime. A red and white checkered biplane flies over a river. The plane banks to the right.
Flight simulator?
Flies past a tall cathedral. The biplane flies above the river. An animated sequence depicts a large dark orb rising and glowing under the bright green X. GamesCom 2021 Xbox stream.
That was so corny.
Share with you today. We're talking Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and my personal favorite, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Later on, we'll take an extended look at Forza Horizon 5. There's so much going into this, and Playground Games' vision of Mexico is muy bonito.
And we'll be getting our first look at the cover car for the game, Paris. I got $5 on it being one of those electric scooters that you see piled up on the sidewalk.
Will Kate win $5? I guess we're about to find out.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Let's get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour sequel, Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
What's going on?
A black screen reads, Techland presents Dying Light 2 Stay Human.
Oh, hell no, I got the wrong one. Hold on,
I am
people.
Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game designer, and this is David Lubryka, animation director. I am Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game designer, and this is David Lubryka, animation director. Hi.
My fault, people, my fault.
Used to your advantage. So watch closely, look for special combat and parkour moves, and check out how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go.
Sometimes I wonder what this city looked like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope. But soon, one vision broke into many different ones. Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
Was it a little bird? Met a broken leg?
Hope died. Now the city is falling.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen. At least,
Hey, nice with it.
I need the secrets the city holds.
Fuck. Hey! There's still some rats here.
I have to pick a side.
The Bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
I have to make a difference.
Let's check and see.
A knock though. Who that?
They say that great change is a series of small
He
gestures.
got the wingsuit.
How about this series?
It looks fun. Oh yeah.
Is all hope really gone? We'll see about that.
Well, that was an exciting trip, wasn't it, Timon? Did you notice those bandits in medieval-like armor passing by skyscrapers, banks, and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages. And it's a very unique design, one very important for the plot of Dying Light 2. But there's another thing that stood out to me, all those parkour moves that you and your team has put so much effort into. Well, all you need is a few thousand of animations, cooperation with professional tracers, mock-up sessions, and invaluable help from David Bell.
We get it.
Whose
You did
face
some
and
work.
moves player will see in the game, by the way. No, yes, right. And we've got twice the number of parkour moves compared to the first game, and we are showing some of them in this trailer. The vault kicks being the most important to me personally. It brings a whole new fighting style into the game. The player can stagger an enemy and use them to perform further attacks, for example by rebounding from their bodies, jumping off them onto other foes, and so on. I think we captured the movement really well and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it. It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before, improving its verticality. Players will need to find a way to reach those tall skyscrapers and other challenging spots too. Then it's good we scattered some helpers around, like a paraglider, which can support players in both parkouring and combat. Exactly, and it's gonna do great, especially in fights against humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light 1. It's been over 20 years since the events from the first game, so people adjusted. They are much bolder now, at least during the day. And they are more vicious too. And I think that's a great summary of this discussion. Pre-order Dying Light 2 and explore its vast, complex world on December 7th. Thanks, David. Thank you.
For the first time in the storied history of the franchise, Microsoft Flight Simulator launched on a home console
I'm
with
tired
a
of this
release
game.
on Xbox Series X and S last month. Reviewers and gamers alike were blown away by how well the stunning visuals and the depth of the simulation translated to the console, and that's why I'm extremely honored to welcome the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator, York Newman, to the stream. York, thank you for being here. The last time we met was at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was getting ready to come out on consoles. How did that go?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was really just amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the translation of the simulation to the console has really worked well. Our usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you there have never been more people playing Flight Simulator than right now. So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
All right.
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier.
This is the
super excited.
cringiest
They
thing
saw
I've
the
ever
F-18.
seen.
They can't wait to start flying. And as you know,
They
it
can't
comes
even
out
see
the end of
him
this
now.
year.
He's like, what I
It's
got
free
design.
DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we, so I can still not tell you that much about it. But there's so much else going on even before Maverick. So we are continuing to do our monthly big releases that we've been doing for a long time. And next month, on September 7th, we are launching World Update 6. And this World Update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. But we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of GamesCom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means
heard
to us
nothing
is
that
we
he
have
said
new
so
aerial
far.
and
I don't
satellite
even know what's
images. We
going
have a
on.
new elevation map that
I
helps
just
us
know
with the
them
mountains, so the
goddamn
Alps actually look
sunglasses.
awesome now. We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. We have Vienna and Graz in Austria. And those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters resolution, and it's awesome. But we want to celebrate the entire region. So we picked 100 of the most scenic places, the most famous landmarks, and we call those POIs. And we sort of spread them throughout the simulation. And we also added airports. We did Lübeck and Stuttgart in Germany, and Klagenfurt in Austria, and St. Gallen in Switzerland. And what it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights, we have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at GamesCom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions
finally
and everything
took them
that you're gonna
sunglasses
have in
off.
the game, and the way that you're going to
Them sunglasses stressing me out.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. But you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We talked a lot when you study aviation, when you love aviation like we do. You actually realize that a lot of regions of Earth have a very special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local manufacturer. So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world not so much. But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide audience? So for World Update 6, we picked a German plane from the 1930s. It's called Junkers U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U.
Bro, it's 2021. We're
think
talking
of
about
us
Flight
as sort of a
Simulator.
digital preservation. So we really want to get these
Okay.
planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go deep. So we're doing a full scan. We'll take full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we work with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers, and he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew one of those planes while it was still flying in the real world. And he lets us know, like, is the cockpit right, and the sounds right, does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast working with these experts to really to celebrate this plane, to bring them back to life.
So this is almost like you're creating like a digital museum for aviation inside Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that. It's a museum with flyable planes. So we're working with 40 museums around the world. And it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies. And they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes. And they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment, and we're basically capturing their planes, and they know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity. And we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something with it. And it's a great collaboration. And we're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking towards the future. So I have another announcement. We are working with a fascinating German company called Volocopter. And they're making an eVTOL air taxi for urban traffic. So they have a vision of the future, how these drone type machines basically connect people in large cities. We're working directly with the engineering team to make sure that we are capturing their plane, their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator, and that's coming out in November.
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest.
This show is
motorsport.
90
It's right
minutes
down your
long.
alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And
What
I
you
actually
want?
brought you a little trailer.
You on the
to
phone? How can
So
you walk if you're on the
race,
phone?
Speed.
How are you able
We're
to
going
walk
to the
if
danger
you're on your
zone, baby.
phone?
Let's
How
go
are you
ahead
able
and
to
show that.
breathe? Jeez. I could have used you in game chat. Oh, it's coming soon. I don't even understand what's happening. Come on. Give me a battlefield.
You know I
Oh,
like
no.
going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's not just because we scanned all the famous race planes of the world, there's lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet. And so a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator.
You nervous you don't
And
got that.
that will definitely test your pilot skills.
Top
And you
gun
asked,
danger
when is it
zone.
coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
All right, thank you. If going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for an extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream. We'll also talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
Come on, baby, give me a second.
Build a weapon, one that blows the world away. Build a rocket that'll come and take away us all. Gonna come back, I am
This might be a waste of time.
in a day. Build a weapon that'll turn us into newborns again. Build a weapon, one that blows the world away. Build a rocket that'll come and take away us all. Gonna come back, I am coming back in a day. Build a weapon that'll turn us into new.
This is a bunch of nonsense.
Yep, somehow they did it. They added even more games to Game Pass. Let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next for Sea of Thieves. But now, we've got a new roguelike retro shooter that, in grand retro fashion, sends you plundering through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the pit.
Oh man, I better get through this cringe with something good, man. Let me see something. This is VR? PlayStation 1 remaster? Or just the game? It's a mobile game?
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Isgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited to talk H4, of course, because you've got something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, when you're playing it. We've gotten to see a lot of footage of that, and we've also shown a little bit of our campaigns, right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked about yet.
See, you do this to me. You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it.
Well,
let's hear more.
Okay, wait, you get one moment of suspense. Okay, that's enough. So, what we brought today is we have these wonderful little videos that we've created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 4 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called Hands-on Histories. And what they are is a great way to deep dive on certain fun subjects from the cultures we're representing and just from medieval history.
This is hilarious.
Well, I hear you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I gotta see. Let's take a look.
A counterweight trebuchet was the king of all siege engines. A catapult capable of smashing down castle walls from great distances. At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world. Originating in 7th century China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Such a simple design, but so effective.
It has several key features. A pivoted arm with a weight at one end, and a sling to hold the projectile at the other. To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of 2 that's attached to an axle, which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone.
What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops, it really sends this point of the arm moving at its highest velocity.
This was done by positioning the pivot close to the counterweight and by launching the projectile from a sling. When released, the sling whips round, vastly increasing the launch speed. Trebuchets were carefully aimed.
Bro, this is a goddamn
like
documentary. I don't even know what's going on.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same trajectory, they all had to be the same weight and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Now I'm going to load this projectile into the sling. This one must weigh about 25 kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to 150 kilograms. That's the weight of 2 men.
Okay.
Trebuchets were also used to throw burning tar,
I want your hand. You're supposed to be on Discord with me watching this.
anything to cause maximum distress
Nah,
to the
bro, I don't
enemy.
want you now. Nah, you kicked out of my Discord, bro.
Did you hear that whoosh?
Not allowed, bro. You're gonna have to watch the
It
stream.
was the counterweight trebuchet's
Hey guys, Boom Smack back in business. Nah, I mean. Alright.
made it the
Bro,
ultimate
this
medieval
is
siege weapon.
so whack.
What the hell is you
I'm
watching?
gonna say trebuchet. Don't care because that is awesome and
Age of Empire.
remarkably unique, something you don't see in games very often.
Yeah, so, you know, one of the things when we were looking at what we're going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And you could say that about any subject, really, right? But I think the great thing is when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across.
This man
We
don't
wanted
cut
to
his
be
hair.
that kind of teacher for history. And
Oh my God.
there's a phrase called humanized history that I use to kind of describe
You see how this
all
dude
they
has
use the
two
show.
yellow
connect
teeth?
past and present. And you can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like
They showed
CG
Dying
kind of
Light, too.
overlaid to show you the history. And so for these,
It did?
we really wanted to do
Yeah.
that same thing. So ourselves and
That's
Relic
fine. I'm
partnered
just
with this
gonna-
amazing group in the UK.
I'm just gonna wait
called
until-
Lion TV. They've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries
Until it comes
for
out
BBC and
to watch
won
anything
every
for it.
award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these
I just care about the
locations in all these
battlefield.
different countries to meet with these subject matter
That's what I'm here
experts
for,
and get
man,
all this
like-
great footage on how things really worked and how things were made. And it's been delightful to kind of go through that process and get all these and finally start showing them to everyone.
I love it. Now,
I don't know why
also,
they're doing a
of course,
showcase of Age of
you've got a
Empire.
bunch, as you mentioned, of these hands-on
Bro,
history
yeah.
segments. Anything
The
else that you can
only
tell
They
people
just
that
showed
be
off
playing
Flight
it
Simulator
Looking
and
forward to
this
any
and
favorite
Dying
It
Light.
be dudes that
Oh,
are
favorites.
neckbeard
Well, I
subhumans.
think my personal favorite is one
Dudes
called
like him.
Surgery. And I'm gonna let your imagination go with what
And I
we
haven't
might
met
show and
anyone
what
that
we
was
might
like,
talk
damn, about to
in
boot up some Age of Empire. Can't wait for
but
the
thing
new
I love
release.
about 'em is that they,
It's like
they
jeans
go
is
all over
too
the place.
tight
We've
for
got
them
one
big
on
ass
warfare and
shoes.
castle building and like how they kept
his
flaming
goddamn
arrows
hoodie
from
too
not going
tight
out
for
when
that
she shot
damn
them.
head
And,
hairline.
but
Like, what are
we've also
they
got all these ones
showing?
on, like illuminated history.
Is this gameplay? If this is gameplay, you
hawk
bought me.
falconing
I'm
and,
playing it.
like horse taming,
Bro.
armor creation. And
This ain't no
there's
damn big
one on
gameplay.
Mongolian instrumentation, which is really cool because those instruments, we actually use them in the soundtrack.
Why would they need
for
this for the
Mongols
game?
When you're playing as
Isn't
them
it like a
in-
top-down
in-
game?
In the game.
I mean,
Bro, I
just
don't
love
even
the
understand
behemoth
what's
amount of
happening,
history
bro.
that you guys, Age of Empires is always known for bringing history alive in a completely different way, and I also
I don't
love
even know what
to
this
mention
game
this
is.
to people that you and the
It did
team
not
did
say
so
make you feel
much
like you in the
research,
game.
and it's
You
so
were
great to see this approach
you were
being
playing a
used,
motherfucking
hands-on
building
for specific things,
simulator.
but, I mean, what was that approach like to sort of?
I don't know, you saw the
build going
graphics though,
forward,
bro.
Especially since it's such a unique.
Nah, but literally
game
haven't seen
experience.
gameplay
Well, the cool
since
thing
it
was it was there
started.
from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to
It showed
do,
you how
was
a
try to tell these
tribute
stories
kit
in a
works,
different way.
and now
I'll
they're
tell
talking
you,
about arrows.
Like full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking because we're trying something
Let me
completely different
see
that no one's ever done before.
what the people are saying.
Like we're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching
Actual
you things,
stream.
we're having fun, and
Oh, it's not actual
finding that
stream,
really
bro?
has been really
Jeez.
challenging. And every time
hurt.
we've,
No, I'm
tried to
talking-
we've shown the campaigns,
talking
and we've
about
shown
the
these hands-on histories, I've
name.
been like, oh god, it's gonna work? Like people gonna like this? And the great thing is, so far, everyone that's really experienced the entire thing.
People
put
say,
together,
"Give us the
I've
game.
just been
This
like,
is the
wow,
game,
this
right?"
great. And it's
Thumbs
super
down.
really cool and refreshing.
Lag,
So,
for fuck's sake, skip.
So far, so good, right? But
Don't
yeah,
skip
it's been a journey.
I know, I've been waiting to try to skip it.
Well, I love
It's
It
better
says,
to watch this.
it says,
Towards the
please
end
don't
of
talk
this
more, and then
development
everything
period,
Z's in the
or
chat.
talk to me about where people can find and learn more about
Everyone's
Age of
playing like the
Empires
sleep
4.
emojis.
Yeah, I'm watching it now.
Oh well,
Thank you,
October
please end it.
28th, we're launching the game. You can
Control,
go to
delete.
ageofempires.com to learn more about the title, and if you're really, really excited, right now you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now.
Battlefield
And of course, we will
2042.
be there day one.
Xbox fans,
Past releases
PlayStation
as well,
fans.
So anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing. But
Yes, I believe you are a part of something
But-
very special.
yes, so Gamescom opening night live.
Yes.
11 a.m. Pacific time. There might be something Age of Empires related in there, so if you're a fan, you might...
Everyone's talking about Battlefield 2042. That's the whole chat.
Please from Mr. Ice Green.
Maybe.
And I like it very much. Adam, thank you so much for joining us here.
Always a pleasure, Kate.
Always a pleasure. Age of Empires 4 looks fantastic, so I cannot wait. October 28th, neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up.
I can't even stand this girl's
including
face.
a new update for State of Decay 2.
This whole
and an
thing
extended
is-
look at Forza Horizon 5 with our friends at Playground Games. But now, let's catch up with Paris, who's gone from flying the skies in Microsoft Flight Sim
Ain't
to
nobody
different
waiting
quest.
for October 20th.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones,
It's the only
and
guy I've
tablets.
liked so far.
And now, it's coming to Xbox
Just
consoles.
because
The
his
future
jacket
with
reminds me of
cloud
something
gaming
Dad would wear.
sounds bright. No waiting to install, no running out of hard drive
Yeah, that's
space,
Dad, bro.
no waiting to patch, and no buying a new
Yeah, that's-
console just to play with
Look
your
at his shoes, bro. When you see
how
his
the
shoes,
vision
you
of
be like, yo,
cloud
that's just
gaming
like
will
Dad
bring people
dress.
together without barriers.
If it wasn't so goddamn dark, it looked just like that.
So when I think about cloud and when I think about gaming,
Like a
those
nice
two things
caramel.
together to me really show you the future where you can pick up something and you can play it anywhere and you could do it quickly.
Without barriers.
Cloud gaming's phenomenal. This is pretty great. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
This actually looks so
Isn't it
good.
cloud gaming where you don't gotta download it?
Games are large
Maybe.
and you want to keep the ones that you know you love on your hard drive. Xbox Cloud Gaming is about being able to discover the new ones right away. It's super exciting that for our Game Pass Ultimate members, they will get to experience Xbox Cloud Gaming on whatever console they have.
Probably gotta put your graphics
Cloud
on
gaming
one
is
though.
really about looking at how people play differently. I know me in particular, sometimes I just have 20 minutes.
Alt
It should
members.
be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
You got 20
60
minutes,
frames,
maybe you
that's
shouldn't.
actually very smooth.
The process itself to get into cloud gaming feels like you're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much play any Xbox game on Game Pass.
They zoomed in on his shirt like
friends
it's supposed to
have titles
mean
I don't
something.
have yet. I can just wait for them to send me an invite. It makes content just so much more accessible.
Xbox gamer.
I really love the flexibility. It's awesome.
Everything
Sure
that
don't let
Xbox
you
is
ever
doing
play
right
the
now
game.
is just getting rid of the limits of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console. Play on PC and mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that so cool?
With cloud gaming, we have the ability, because you are connecting to consoles in our data centers,
Ain't no one
to
playing
allow
mobile like
the
that.
Gen 8 customers, the Xbox One customers, to play games that their hardware wouldn't have been able to play without it.
There's so much opportunity when it comes to thinking about how we can make content more readily available and let people play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it. When's the release date? When does it release?
Bro, this is the cringiest thing I've ever watched.
August 9th saw the
Look at
release
his shoes,
of
bro.
a free optimized update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox
You
Series
squint
S
your eyes, it
and
look like
X,
that.
with beautiful and rich visuals thanks to the addition of ray tracing
Yo.
and materials alongside his
That
performance
man got the
updates.
motherfucking running
This is
shoes
the
on.
perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't played this, do yourself a favor, grab a pair of headphones and immerse yourself into this world.
Agreed. Speaking of unique experiences on Game Pass, the Xbox Plays team will be taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can catch all of those streams on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Speaking of Forza
Sorry, I'm
Horizon
watching
5,
that
don't
turd.
forget our friends at Playground Games will give us an extended look at their monument to motoring
Monday.
in Mexico later on.
Psychonauts
That
Tay,
includes
oh my god.
never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars
This
that
dude's
have
eyes
never
is
been
yellow.
in the Forza franchise before. I've loved
My
everything
man off the
I've
goop
seen
right
from
now.
Forza Horizon 5 so far, and I can't wait. Now, Kate, there's more games
Oh,
to check out,
tonight
right?
Psychonauts 2 comes
Well,
out.
you are,
I can't wait for
Let's
that.
talk Wasteland 3. Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Oh my god.
Holy detonation.
By the time it becomes 2, I'm not going to see Battlefield.
Deep
It's
within
only 90 minutes long.
mountain weave.
20 what?
It said like 90 minutes long.
Devolved into the mutations you see before you. Set
That's an
on
hour and a
righteous
half.
path.
This is show like the last motherfucking 3 minutes.
Giving glow.
It's in the end with it or something.
Everyone.
Oh, we made you watch that. Then they gotta throw up the West Side symbol.
May the light of the holy detonation.
I want to log in to see the new season for Destiny. It's just it's at capacity.
Rangers.
So everybody went to watch this and see what the hell was going on here.
Wasteland 3.
With new patches, bug fixes, and added features, like a fine
We'll
wine,
not be talking to the
3
Wasteland
just
3
gets better
developer.
with age. To really savor the game.
Play it day 1 PC console.
Oh my god, they're talking to the...
Thank you for joining
Oh
us.
my
I'm super stoked
god.
to be here. Thanks.
So in the trailer, we
Why
saw
are
that
the
the
pencil
DLC
in
is
tight?
coming out on October 5th. But we know, In Exile, Wasteland 3, you guys have been working on this for a very long time. So can you kind of talk
Now
about
who's the average
Our
Age
dev team
of
has been
Civilization
working
player?
nonstop full tilt, trying to make Wasteland 3 the best version of itself it could be. Over the past year since its release, we've
It really
added
is,
features,
bro. Look
we've
at this
balanced,
guy.
we've listened to the community, we've fixed bugs, added stability, and I really think that the version that we have now is the absolute best version of the game.
I've never
And
seen
if you've never
anyone
played it before,
that
now's an awesome
sounds how
time
they
to
look.
jump in.
Well, congratulations
He
on
sounds how he
everything
looks.
you've been doing with Wasteland 3. Now, this
He
DLC
looks
is called
crazy.
The Cult of the Holy
This
Detonation.
man came out like a school
Now,
shooter.
talk about that a little bit. Tell me what's going to go into this DLC. What should we be excited about?
Right, so you've heard of Cheyenne Mountain, right?
Yes.
For,
It's gonna
for
like
those who
about to do
haven't, Cheyenne
magic.
Mountain
His hands is
this,
wide open.
top secret military complex buried deep in the heart of Cheyenne Mountain in the middle of Colorado. It's designed to outlast a nuclear winter. And so when you hit level 16, an old friend calls you and says, hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within. And as soon as you get
With the
there,
top down.
you find 2 warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god.
Yeah.
And, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad, and
Don't ever
all
make
they
that
want
sound
to do
again.
is share the holy radiation with you and your entire ranger team. How generous.
Yeah, that sounds a lot cooler than some of the cults I may have joined in the past. But
I just,
this is
I
typical
just
Wasteland
heard
fashion.
it.
You'll be able to get in the mix,
What
though.
the fuck?
Right, so you
It sound like that?
insert yourself
Oh,
right
but
smack
this
dab in
man
the
was
middle
talking
of
about
the
joining cults in his
which,
past.
what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide everything. Choice and consequence is our bread and butter. And so you decide who lives, who dies, who gets screwed over, who takes charge. You're deciding the fate of the cults, the Holy Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately all of Colorado. This is really your game to craft and mold.
That's awesome. So the last expansion
Yeah,
was the Battle of Steel.
Oh,
You had
man.
giant robots and things like that. So, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I feel like they should show the games and save the interviews for later.
Something that they could never find in another version or in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as
They're
a
legit
Wasteland
wasting your
style
time for 90
dungeon
minutes
crawl.
right now.
And in there you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration. You're meeting these crazy cultists who have been locked in this
Yeah, I mean,
pre-war
I had it,
time
bro. That
capsule.
shouldn't have been no
So if
and
people want
some
to
of the
watch that, they
raddest boss
can.
battles we have ever been able to build in a Wasteland game.
That's awesome. I want to get back to the crazy cultists, but talk to me about these big boss battles. I want to hear more about that.
Right. So we test parts of Wasteland combat and we breathe new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now, combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. You are splitting your fire team and
This man does not
coordinating like you
deserve
never have had
to
to
use a
before.
military term
Everyone on your team has a job, and I really think
with
this is
that
going to take
jacket
old players who know
and that
their
goddamn
ranger team
haircut.
like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging mentally in a way we haven't been able to really do before with just straight up murder combat.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
what are some of the weird characters we can expect in some of the story encounters we'll see in the game?
Yeah, with Cult of the Holy Detonation, we really got to cut our devs loose and just let them be creative and fun and silly.
Getting a little silly.
Modus operandi is if we're like brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards.
Yo, his hands being
we
open
want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, like really letting you get deep into this like weird radiation cult and let you interact with them and talk with them. And tell stories and like maybe even join them.
Yeah.
And so like for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the first cultists you meet, is this slathering beast. He's got like claws and fangs and spikes jutting out. And he's drooling, but he's like the nicest guy in Cheyenne Mountain. Like you meet him and he's like, hey guys, you should like go here and like soak up some of these rats. It'll be great. Yeah. And he Sherpas you in and lets you meet the whole cult.
That black dude has no idea about the game. He's just
He's what you get if you took like 20 cultists and you like melted them into a big pile, kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt like army guys and like GI Joes into a big pile, and he's wet and sloppy and gross, and he's hard to understand, and he needs a translator supposedly, but he's like your #1 fan. And getting to build like this totally out there wild extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore like what makes this cult tick, and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons that you find in Cheyenne Mountain, they're devolved cultists. Like there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature, and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. But we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us jackknife between sort of like dark and serious and like goofy and funny, which is a line that Wasteland really loves to ride. Like, you know, a lot of really important stuff is at stake, but you know, the Wasteland's a pretty bizarre place.
Oh, I can imagine. Now, we talked before, you've been working on Wasteland 3 for a while. There's already expansions that are out there. But say I'm a new player. Say I'm watching this right now and I'm like, man, I want to get into Wasteland 3. What would you suggest for new players wanting to get into this?
And like I said at the top, like Wasteland is like the best version of itself right now because of all the work we've put into it over the past year. And so you can get the whole thing with the Colorado collection. That's the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of Steeltown, all for a discount. Or if you have Game Pass, you already have Wasteland 3. Just download it and play it, and then you can get both expansions with the expansion pass.
That is awesome. Now, to kind of recap this a little bit, we talked about, you know, spewing pus bags and these weird characters and the cults and the boss battles and all these really cool things that are going to be in Wasteland 3. But please remind everyone before we get out of here, when can you pick up this DLC?
Right, this Work of Passion, it comes out on October 5th. We're really stoked.
That is awesome. So this is the Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Cult of the Holy
Detonation coming October 5th. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Barish. Appreciate it.
Right. In the 3 years since its launch, Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a part of the latest wild crossover heading to Sea of Thieves. Better yet, this event begins tomorrow. So get ready to make some mayhem, and let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Actually, put me into freaking Destiny. What the hell? I was in queue for like 30 minutes.
You know, they're doing a Borderlands crossover, bro.
With what?
Guten Tag,
Sea of Thieves.
Really cool to be a part of this.
Mayhem shit is fun Borderlands.
Celebrate GamesCom and
I'm on the stream right now, baby. Just go play in your room for a little bit.
So we're really excited to reveal that we're bringing the Mayhem ship set that you've just seen, a really, really cool ship that's inspired by Borderlands, into Sea of Thieves, and we're giving all of our players a chance to play it during kind of the GamesCom time period. So it's been really cool to work with the Borderlands team to bring this ship to life, and giving all of our players the chance to earn it as part of this live event that we've cunningly titled Mayhem. You might notice the link. So you can probably guess the kind of activities that are involved, but if you head to Lorena at any of the outposts in the Sea of Thieves world, she'll be able to fill you in on the details of what you need to go do to earn the ship set. So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part in this awesome time-limited event. So it starts today, and it runs through to September the 7th. So that's the time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem chipset. And I think that's it from me. So as always, I will see you on the seas.
Me and do a motherfucking mission. They also made primary ammo unlimited.
Are you happy?
Just wanted to see what they have. I'm gonna get through this mission real quick. And hopefully, better comes up. I feel like everything else is legit, just
It's always been a dangerous
stalling until Battlefield.
But now,
Honestly, I feel like they're piggybacking on the Battlefield
together.
to show everything else.
It reunites old friends. It builds new bonds. And in the face of a growing threat, hope is the greatest weapon we have.
What is this? I'm using it real quick, baby. Alright. It's on dial, put on charger.
Welcome back to Trumbull Valley.
Might get into that game.
Like zombies themselves, it seems everything old is new again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this Undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of Communications, Wanda Russell. Hello, Wanda, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be here, talk about the Homecoming update releasing on September 1st. We are very excited to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen because you're adorable.
Problems, Nikki
So
Boot.
Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So
I forgot
that's all
what you
changed
did on
with the Trumbull
TV.
Valley map. It is the 5th core open world map. It's fully
kickback
remastered,
here
and
we
it
go.
expands into 2 territories that were completely inaccessible in
You're
Heartland.
adorable.
So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new
Adorable.
communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
So then, would Homecoming be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the 3rd part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental storytelling to find, and you know, things have changed. So this isn't the Trumbull Valley that players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you expand something like Trumbull Valley, you just have to have a juggernaut of content, pun intended. Talk to me a little bit about what some of those things are that players can get in on here now in the expanded Trumbull Valley.
Yes, a ton of new content. In fact, we're doing something unique with the Trumbull Valley map. There are items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game, including 12 new hats and outfits, 10 new very cool weapons. We've got 6 new bases, 2 new achievements for achievement hunters. And on top of that, we are adding the game's 12th bounty pack. So that will be available from the bounty broker across all maps. And I have to say, they are some of the coolest weapons I have ever seen go into the game. I'm so excited for people to find them.
A juggernaut amount of content, and I don't care who sees that second pun of the day. That works out great. Well, let's talk about the State of Decay community, because it's absolutely an integral part to this entire franchise. And State of Decay being on Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those.
It's been fantastic, and you know, we have an amazing community. We love them so much. In fact, one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also makes it very exciting for us to be able to say, We did it. You get it. And we have a major milestone that we're celebrating. State of Decay 2 has 10 million lifetime players.
10 million lifetime hang your hat on that. I absolutely love that. That
Really
is
grateful.
Incredible, amazing news. Congratulations to you and the entire team at
Thank
Undead
you.
Labs, man. Fantastic work. Well, speaking of Xbox Game Pass, let's give me the deets one more time when it comes to the update.
So the update releases September 1st. It's a free update for all State of Decay 2 owners, and it's included with Xbox Game Pass. Happy homecoming.
I love it. Thank you, Wonder, very much.
My pleasure.
Now we move from Trumbull Valley to the Lost Valley of Akria. This mystical location trades zombies for ancient warrior clans, forgotten temples of long-dead god kings, and a healthy dose of hack and slash. All this awaits in Stray Blade.
Bro, dude.
Oh my god.
In Stray Blade, you discover the mystical Lost Valley of Akria, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A game world that changes based on your victories and plenty of dudes to stab in blade-to-blade combat. If that weren't enough, you even get a fuzzy little pal to help you out. Between the epic fights and this small guy, there's clearly a lot going on here. So let's hear more from Point Blank Games about Stray Blade.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you Stray Blade. Stray Blade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is exploring the ancient valley of Akria with his companion, a witty wolf named Boji. Unveil the history of the Forgotten Valley, muster the powers of the 3 Akrian metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Combat and exploration are the 2 key elements of our game. Let's dive into the combat first. Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with split-second blade-to-blade reactions. It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat. To achieve that, we put our hearts into creating fluid, well-readable animations and epic cinematic finishes. You can choose from multiple weapon categories that can be combined to fit your playstyle. Now, let's take a look at the exploration. Akria's colorful world ranges from overgrown city ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. Together with your companion, explore the deepest corners of an ever-changing world, bristling with adventure. Every discovery holds treasure. Find rare materials, recipes, weapons, lore pieces, and beautiful places. Change is part of your journey, where every victory impacts the world around you. When you die, time keeps moving forward. Enemies killed stay dead, new foes invade camps that you weakened, and when Boji revives you, only one thing is certain. The change you brought shapes what now awaits you. And of course, get ready for epic boss fights. We hope you enjoyed the first look at Stray Blade, which will be out next year. And keep an eye on our social media channels for more information.
What is going on?
Next up, one of the most unique games finally comes to Xbox.
Yeah, unique. As in, my evil twin murdered 4 of my husbands because they secretly are in love with me. Unique.
In case that didn't tip you off, we're talking about Crusader Kings 3, the medieval grand strategy and role-playing game that has you trying to defend your royal line from those that would conquer your kingdom, and evil twins apparently.
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3, now coming to Xbox consoles.
My son, we must never forget the crimes committed against us. Your father sought his glorious revenge and failed.
Oh man.
never understood that the greatest wars are won with weddings, not warriors. With daggers, not swords. Only the small-minded measure success across the span of a single life. The real game is played across generations. You see, real strategy requires cunning.
Crusader Kings 3 is wild. You really haven't lived until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Weird like diving into people's brains and exploring their mental universes projected into a psychedelic 60s wonderland kind of weird?
Exactly that kind of weird, which means I am so excited for Psychonauts to finally get a sequel. It has been so long.
There really is something special about Psychonauts, isn't it?
There really is indeed. Now, think about this. 2005, when Psychonauts originally came out, was a different time for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure. But they were all big, beefy shooter games.
Meanwhile, Psychonauts had humor, whimsy, and surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
That's why the original is considered a cult classic.
It has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
They do look like a robot.
Well, this shouldn't take too long.
It's just Psychonauts, bro.
I'm looking.
My name is Raz, and I'm the new intern. And today is my first day on the job.
Get ready, Rasputin.
Did you forget everything I taught you about levitation, Rasputin?
I'm not supposed to check out equipment to interns.
You did what? Can't we just...
No. Quit picking on the new kid. We were all new once, in case you forgot.
I've got eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
All I see is another unruly peasant.
Oh boy.
When men do misfires, turn the world on its side. Only one man can save us. Mind reader.
It wouldn't be the first time the Psychonauts underestimated Maligula's power.
Leave it to me.
Oh, so this is gonna be day one Xbox Pass.
Yeah, it comes out tomorrow, but you could play it at 8 o'clock tonight.
Alright, I'm off tonight.
Honestly, and put on PC, it's like the colors gonna look crazy. Really, stop.
Well, it's clear I could not be more excited for Psychonauts 2 because I gotta be honest, me in that original game, we got some beef that
Doesn't look cool?
No, surface level,
It was
it is
pretty
infinite,
cool.
it is brutal, it is difficult.
That's what
to
I'm
say the least.
saying.
It's the final level of the original game
But
that came out.
I gotta skedaddle. But the pick up shorty.
Yeah, do your thing, bro.
16 years ago.
Alright, bro, I love you, bro.
Tim,
I shall catch you
Schaefer, and Lizette,
later
T. Tree
and
Montgomery.
tell
I
me
am
how the
definitely
battlefield
dating
is. I'll be
myself.
back, hopefully.
Welcome from
By the
Double
time,
Fine
actually, no,
Productions.
I'll be
Thank
back.
you so much for being
Like
here.
40
Tim, can you believe
Alright,
it?
see you, bro.
16 years. I almost said 19 years.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz, because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years, it's a game that matters a lot to us. We really love it here at Double Fine, and we know that a lot of fans, it meant a lot to them. And so we really want to be true to the spirit of the first game, which we were able to do because we brought back a lot of the same voice actors, and we also have a lot of people on the team here that worked on the first game, as well as bringing on a bunch of new people like Lisette.
Thank you. It was really important for us to carry the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is very prevalent in the first game.
Style of Wonk. Just put it on a shirt. I'm in there for it. Let's roll it back a bit. Of course, this can be kind of a trippy idea if you're not familiar. Psychonauts, they still jump into people's minds, I'm assuming, like the first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French Bulldog memes. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, that's what's fun about a Psychonauts game, is that all the levels are different, just like every person is different, based on their personality. If you could jump into someone's mind, what would it look like in there? What would be the color of the sky, and like who would the monsters be?
This game comes out tomorrow,
and
and it's on
you get
this.
to do that because Raz has the power of astral projection. And when he goes in, he gets to fight those monsters and help people deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons. And so there's a ton of variety, and there's a lot of anything goes. We can go to any location, and we can have any art style, and coming up with new levels for the second game was really fun to do.
Well, I loved it from the first game, certainly. Let's talk a little bit about how that kind of concept expresses itself in the game world. I mean, Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry forward the unique brain worlds and unique levels from
She
the
said
first game,
like she was
and
wanting
the
to
unique
speak.
style as well. So we were really
Sheesh.
focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons, and I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean? Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks, and COVID definitely caused a lot of those. In addition to panic attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely here. And in addition to that, we also have our doubts and some new enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also, some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow, sticky melee enemy. You're also seeing our enabler here. He is our, it energizes our whole combat troop. So we have a whole cast that you can battle and fight with.
Including the bad mood.
Including the bad mood.
Which is
it's an electric storm of feelings that you have to fight.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz is, he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills, one being the acrobatic skills he learned growing up in the circus. He can balance on tightropes, jump on trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can connect 2 thoughts and actually connect 2 thoughts together to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the
I'm
power
still
of
doing the
time
stream,
bubble,
baby.
which is
I'll
just
tell you when I'm done.
change,
Go play.
And slow down how
Yes,
things
I
are
am,
moving
baby.
by
Go
changing
play.
people's perception of time.
Because I'm
And he also
doing
has the power of
something.
projection,
Go play,
which
baby.
allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into
Okay.
the
Go
world
put on
that
the
he's
charger.
in, like a companion in battle.
Alright,
or
so go
in
play in your room.
puzzle
I love you.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because as the original Psychonauts, we saw Raz training to be part of an organization,
Okay,
and now
go play in
perhaps
your room.
part of a whole organization at this point. And are there other brain agents, other Psychonauts out there that maybe grew up in a completely different circus?
Yeah, we have a lot of new characters in this game.
We do. We have a lot of new characters in this game. As soon as Raz arrives on the headquarters, he immediately gets introduced to the interns. And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he fits into the organization.
The bottom.
They're right down at
Right
the
at the
bottom.
Yeah, so earn his way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp. And much to his chagrin, his entire family, his entire embarrassing circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him in front of all his new friends. And so the interns find out that he's the awkward middle child of the circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory and how it relates to the foundation of the Psychonauts themselves.
Well, I like that. And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world exact some beefy, meaty revenge?
You can get back to the beef and play Psychonauts 2 on August 25th on Xbox Game Pass and PC.
There it is. Lizette, Tim, from Double Fine, thank you so much. And you know what? Extend a huge congratulations to everyone at Double Fine on the launch of Psychonauts 2.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream tomorrow. But first, we're going from cleaning out mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for The Gunk.
Really? Go play.
I don't like this weather. I'm pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover any storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
The Gunk's eating everything here. This planet is literally a paradise when the Gunk's gone. Vex. Oh, please, Vex.
We have talked about so many incredible games today, and it's hard to pick a favorite, but let me just say, it is so cool that State of Decay 2 is expanding Trumbull Valley. Come on! And hey, you know what? Great job on that Flight Sim interview.
Oh, thank you. I mean, talking to Jorg is always a blast, and Flight Sim is such a special game to me because, I mean, it's literally letting me travel the world. But I was staring daggers of jealousy watching you talk to Tim and Lizette over at Double Fine.
Well, I will say this, I understand, but you got to play Psychonauts 2 already, so I don't even want to hear it.
That's true, but it's not the same as talking to the creators. Just trust me when I tell you. Be excited for Psychonauts 2.
I will say this as well, I am excited to see even more of Psychonauts 2 on our Xbox Plays streams.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox, so make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure to chat games and nerd out with everyone today.
Oh, it's hands down the best part of the job, for sure.
But we're far from done here.
Too true. Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 5, the highly anticipated follow-up to 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon 4, arrives on November 9th on Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full vroom vroom experience. And if you're already watching on Twitch or one of the Forza channels, stay right where you are.
Without further ado, let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available for pre-order today, so players can have it in hand by November 9th when the standard edition of the game launches.
Got a steering wheel on it? It does look cool.
Charlie here, and I'm at Playground Games with Forza Horizon creative director Mike Brown and Forza Horizon art director Don Arcetta. Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hello.
How cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video about it, and I'll be the first to say there is an amazing influence of Mexican car culture and music literally splayed right across the front. Isn't that right?
Bro, absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival. Like
She
it's
like
just
school
dropped out of the
shooter
game
too,
into
goddamn.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the fans, and it's been quite difficult to decide where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse open world we've ever built in hundreds of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
Yeah, and people think that Mexico is just a desert or a beach, but there's so much more to it, isn't there?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and a number of amazing deserts, it also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
So yeah, our Mexican HDR sky captures really illuminate the world to the point where you feel like you're really there. And thanks to Series X and S, ray tracing is utilized in Forza Vista, utilized in Forza. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
Oh, that's such an exciting overview. I cannot wait. And next up is something we know that Forza Horizon fans have definitely been waiting for the most. Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
They're like acting. A longer trailer for the remote. Man, I really hope there's some Battlefield at the end of this. I need some Battlefield.
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, that's primed for rugged off-roading across Mexico's vast terrain.
And I'm certain people can't wait to see more of what these cars can do in the game, so I don't think we should keep them waiting any longer. Mike, can you tell us about what we're about to see next?
Yes, so in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza Horizon 5. But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay where we're going to see both the Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion, we are going to see
there ain't no Battlefield, guys.
Cars jumping out
I'm making a
cargo
meme
planes,
out of
a
this.
race under beautiful Mexican skies
bad.
all the way to the Horizon Festival.
If you checked out the channel, I appreciate it. Screw this. Alright, hold on. I'm going to say it again. Screw this. Screw this.